Monica Rambeau, issue number 2 of Photon. Not Captain Marvel. All you older heads, oh, Captain Marvel, she was the first one. The first Captain Marvel female was a black one. What does that mean? That's no equivalency to like real life struggles. Drop that. Everyone right now who was like, oh, she was the first Captain Marvel who was a lady. Zip it. Anyways, this is an important comic book. I remember tweeting maybe a couple weeks ago, like, I can't stress enough how valuable this thing is. If this solo series actually becomes a hit, and this character is as relevant to the comic book company called Marvel as Captain America, Wolverine, the real ones, not Sam and not X-23. If she becomes that reverses and that counters a lot of messaging that seems to lean in one direction. White people. It'd be nice to have the top tier characters, not just be Hulk, Thor, and Spider-Man, and have these guys included. When I say these guys, talking about her. So this goes back in time. That final page of the first issue of Monica Rambeau Photon wasn't exactly nothing. She wanted to get away, and she achieved that. She got away. She got back to her home, her roots there in Louisiana. She's not a New York superhero. Yes. No, she's not. Side note, actually, let me bring it back to this page. There was a sly little remark where it mentioned that she had loving parents. And if you don't get that, first of all, just superheroes in general, none of them ever have parents. But then black characters in media never seem to have a full family. Even take it back to Tiana, the Princess and the Frog. Yeah, she had a dad. And then she grew up, and they did a time jump in that movie, and all of a sudden her dad died in the war. Damn, they always got to be absent parents, especially fathers. Ewing, the writer, made a conscious decision, conscious effort, and you probably, if you guys are watching my channel, you know this. But if you don't, here, you learn something new. Conscious effort to include both parents, including the dad, and showing this in media. That is missing. Ewing, I'm not the president of the Ewing fan club, but I am a member of it. The artwork here, good stuff. I would have condensed one thing though, because we get a whole lot of images of this meteorite falling. How many pages that we really could, and there's not even much talking, right? I could have gotten that, okay, she goes into it, she tries to bust it up, it lands inside the water. Just these vertical panels. There's another one here on the next page, and there's not too much talking. You really could have condensed it because there was a lot of room for artwork to grow. And then later on in the comic, there actually are a couple of heavy worded pages. Artwork got to breathe at some places. This didn't necessarily need to be a double page spread. To me, wasn't that spectacular. But to those who are fond of this, it's just like they advertised. They did this. They brought it back to the 80s. Technically not the 80s sliding timeline. The cell phones did exist in this time. I was actually looking a couple times to see if there was any signs of cell phones or anything that is still 10 years old. But no, didn't catch any of that. Doesn't mean it wasn't there. The way that people dressed was normal, like a recent. So it's not like they went retro and they went into the 80s. I was ready to be like, nah, you see sliding timeline, it's not even that long ago. They made a mistake. In this entire series, it feels like just an homage to all you old readers who recognized her days back in the Captain Marvel times. It feels like this is for you. They are going back in time. To me, I never enjoy these back in time, irrelevant, inconsequential stuff. The thing that will happen here is that Monica will retain her memories, but whatever She-Hulk says here, whoa, what in the world? Whatever Captain America and Thor go through, it's not going to affect the real Captain America or Thor in the present of Marvel 616. So I never put too much care into these things. So we'll see what they do with the story. It's not my cup of tea and not my thing. I like canon. I like presence, not alternate reality, nothing like that. What her power does, though, what it suggests that she can do, Monica Rambeau can just like access this world, is kind of interesting. We'll get more answers to it, but not very interested in this stuff. I'm also not interested in relationship stuff, which they ended the comic book with, where all of a sudden, it's Brother Voodoo, Jericho Drum is it Dr. Voodoo? I know, I said Brother Voodoo, yeah? Brother Voodoo, Jericho Drum. Oh, what a twist. It's actually him. They're together. That's not going to last, bro. Just like Adam Brashear never lasted. And when you have these characters, like I said about Storm, when you have these characters all have these love interests, and we know that time in comics doesn't move that quickly. If they got 10 love interests and only 10 years passed, damn, you just Every year you're after somebody else, huh? I don't like that characters males too. Yeah, I'll say. This is why I didn't want to say it. No, I'm just not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because then it becomes a male female thing. Chillmonger, how dare you? I'm not gonna do that. The Beyonder looks different. Representation is very important in comic books, and it's nice to see different people with different skin tones in meaningful positions. The Beyonder, though, is a race swap character. I don't value race swaps. I don't think that it's important. I see that once you take this character, who looks a little different, as Monica points out, you take this character and you swap his race, there's nothing stopping from someone race swapping him again. The solution to countering, it turns out all of the major villains in Marvel are white. The solution to that is introduce a black villain. That's all. Not race swapping. Likewise, the solution that all of our top heroes are white. You don't remove Iron Man or you remove Wolverine for different skin-colored versions of them. Keep them there. Introduce new characters. Give them top-tier writers, top-tier artists. The people will come. Invest, and people will realize, oh, Marvel's behind this character. Captain Marvel. There was an interesting thing about seeking value here. Where's the exact page? It spoke to me and it hit hard. You should never be getting validation because other people touched on something. It reminded me of the CBR article for the Black Panther John Ridley issue, where damn, they went hard. And many of us, I included, went, oh, good, as people are noticing. Why did I value this CBR article? Why wasn't it enough that me and my YouTube comments and Theo Butler, Nico Bean, Be Real with D-Real, when we did that live stream a couple days ago, just the emergency live stream on how bad that John Ridley stuff was? Why wasn't it enough? Why did I feel like, okay, yes, my voice is being heard because CBR validated my thing? That's what it made me think of. And other things in personal life as well. But as far as like things that you guys can relate to, it kind of made me think about that. Kind of deep. So it's not a nothing comic book. As much as I dislike these alternate reality stuff where everything's going to return to normal, where Brother Voodoo is going to be back to his Brother Voodoo self, and none of this is going to have any consequences at all, I rate it. Side note, the origins of her power were mentioned here. And there was a panel there, throwback panel, where you can actually see this comic has direct implications not only on her Avengers days, but even the beginning of her, from the inception of this character. This is an origin building on. This is getting more answers to the character of Photon. If you were a Photon fan and always were a Photon fan, they're taking care of you. They're giving you Monica Rambeau Photon. This is a lovely outing from Ewing. And Ewing lets you know it's her because in the editor's notes a couple times here, you can check out Amazing Annual, issue 16. You can check out Secret Wars 1 and Secret Wars 2. There's just a dedication. Even, I don't know how badly she was reading comic books and how into it she was, but when she writes you a character, I don't care if she just read all of the Photon books this year just to get ready for the series. The fact that it was been done shows. She did her homework. She went to school, she passed, and then she said, now I'm registered, I have my degree in photonology, and I'm qualified to write Monica Rambeau. What else do you want from me, writers? This is the best Ewing writing over at Marvel Comics. It shows the homework that she does. Even when she was doing Ironheart, Riri Williams, I remember you go to the final page and you can see, read Bendis' run, read the Champions run, check out the Secret Empire, check out Infinity Countdown, Champions. Like, whoa, I guess that's where Thanos took care of her. She did her homework. She cares. That's always appreciated. I'm not a fan of this style of storytelling where it's kind of alternate. We'll see how Monica Rambeau, what she retains. We'll also learn more about the origin of her power. I should probably read word for word exactly what that page did when they talked about from her beginnings, when they took you back. The Beyonder says, I see it. It's in your memories. That old professor said it to you on the day you acquired your abilities in the energy disruptor explosion. Energy is flooding in from another universe, breaking down the wall between worlds. Dave Filoni, World Between Worlds. So that's the discussion here. The wall between worlds, the energy that's flowing in. What did that man mean way back when? Well, if you've been staying tuned 40 years later, you're going to get an answer to that. So that's rewarding for you. But also, this is like the inception of the character. It's her origin part 2. Lovely stuff. Thumbs up from me. Thumbs up my video. I will do more of these. I was supposed to do a Photon Friday, as I've spoken about before, and I didn't actually do it. Personal life. Nothing major. Just no excuse. I don't like talking about myself, but it just didn't happen. But it's called Photon Friday. Friday comes once a week, and maybe I'll, if I have the time and everything works out right and the stars align, God willing, you can expect a Photon Friday where I invite a couple people over in the live stream, where I reached out to others like Mark Lynn Singler, and I'd be like, hey, tell me what you thought about the book, and he'll give me a couple of thoughts on what he thought about the book, and I open it to you guys. If you guys want to message me on Discord, Diesel, if you're watching this, Discord me a video. Just talk about what you thought about this comic. We'll feature it. Keep it to a minute. We'll feature it on our live stream. We'll talk about it because there may be something I didn't mention here. Of course there was. There was 20 pages in here. But I want to make this the community event that it should be. I want for when you go on YouTube and you type in Monica Rambeau Photon, it's not just those white guys who always want to police things that are black. It's just those guys always seem to want to speak about comic books like this, huh? The solution to the problem with representation and how it skews one way and excludes basically anyone with a skin tone darker, the paperback stuff. The solution is to value, fund, show up for the characters who look this way. And for that reason, I probably should have done this video on a Wednesday. I didn't. Issue 3, 4, 5, and I will, I can't promise anything. Who knows what might happen. But I recognize the responsibility, the onus. Not that I'm the greatest comic book reviewer, not that this was a flashy video either, but just the conversation that I could be associating with the character, the YouTube chatter. I could be a agent of just review. I don't think I said anything hateful. Maybe you guys are really offended by the way I opened this about Captain Marvel. But I don't think I said anything offensive. I think this is a positive video. Regardless, whatever. 13 minutes into this video, let's call it a day. I've been Chillmonger. 33 Burning Questions is coming every single Saturday on a live stream. Probably going to be Avatar themed. Depends on my panel. I need some Avatar heads. Let's just keep looking out for Monica Rambeau Photon. Tweet her, mention her. We can complain about the Black Panther and how bad that has been. This has been stellar. The writer, Ewing, has been stellar. And I just want more and more for this writer. I need this one. Ewing's the one.